We're going to look at multiplying fractions. So we are going to start off with looking at using language to help us understand multiplying fractions. So when we have this fraction multiplication, we have 1/3 times 1/4. We can also interpret this using language as saying 1/3 of a 1/4 fraction. Okay, so what does 1/3 of a 1/4 fraction look like? Okay, so if I take a look at the image on the right here, here is a square. We're going to represent the big square as one whole. So this left-hand corner that's all shaded is 1/4. So what is 1/3 of this 1/4 fraction? So if we're just looking at this 1/4 fraction here, 1/3 of it would be the red piece there. So if we take a look at, again, this big square represents the whole. This 1/3 of a 1/4 fraction represents what fraction of the whole? Well, if we kind of replicate the sizes of those pieces, okay, because when we want to describe this fraction, we want to know what this is part of. This is a part, so how many pieces of that make up the whole? Well, I can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 parts that make up the whole. So the answer must be 1 out of 12, okay, or 1/12. We could also look at it slightly differently, and we can say that this is 1/4 of a 1/3 fraction. Okay, so if we take a look at a 1/3 fraction, so that's hexagon here, that's outlined, represents the whole. So 1/3 of that hexagon would be the blue and red area here. So this is a 1/3 fraction, and we want 1/4 of that 1/3 fraction. So if I chop up that 1/3 fraction to 4 equal parts, I will get that red piece in there. So again, I want to see what fraction of the whole this is. Well, if I chop up the rest of that, okay, 2 triangles make up one of those pieces. Okay, so I have 4 there. If I just kind of slice it up like this, okay, I can count all 12 pieces. So there's my 1 piece, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this represents 1/12 of the whole piece here. So 1/4 of a 1/3 fraction is 1/12. So we can, again, if we can look at this in terms of the language, that would be a good way to look at this problem and understand fraction multiplication. And another thing we should probably note here is that 1/4 of 1/3 is 1/12, and 1/3 of 1/4 is 1/12. So that indicates that the fraction multiplication is reversible. And we kind of expect that since multiplication of regular numbers is reversible. So if I had 2 times 3, that equals 6. Well, 3 times 2 should also equal 6. Okay? Or if I do 1/3 group of 1/4, I can also get the same result as 1/4 of a group of thirds. Okay, so fraction multiplication, just like regular multiplication, is reversible. So we can do the same thing here. So we're going to start off with a 1/4 fraction. Okay, so I'm just going to make a 1/4 fraction here, and I'm just going to shade it. So there's my 1/4 fraction. And I want half of that 1/4 fraction. Okay, well, if I want half of that fraction, I'm going to take that 1/4 piece, and I'm going to take exactly half of it. Okay, so what does that represent in terms of the whole? Okay, so if I were to chop this up, I want all the same size pieces here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I have 1 out of 8 pieces, and that gives me my answer to 1/2 of a 1/4 fraction, or in other words, 1/2 times 1/4. Okay, so that's our kind of how most of us been introduced to fraction multiplication, is using this idea of. All multiplication we can replace with the word of, and that helps us understand what the fraction multiplication may look like.